skill, despite what his name says, is a very good player. But we have the first game starting now. So if we go into game, we have Synergy versus Rush game number 1. Here we go.
We're waiting on you to load in.
Waiting on me to load in. I'm not actually loaded in, so I'm going to have to look for your computer.
You may, if you wish. But yeah, as we can see here on the first map is mines. And, oh, can I get that fixed? Yes, not Luke. See. Dark God Sim in his T50-2 is going for the hill, which all fast tanks should be doing, or at least the scout tanks. And he actually scouts Killeroid and Power Slide, Inspira, and Lissar, and he then tries to get out of there as fast as possible, going through the small the bumps in the road right there up. And he actually gets out of there without taking a single hit. Good job, Dark God Sim. Good spotting up there. And then we have Illusion, going into a very defensive position down here, sitting in the bushes where he can spot up there if Power Slide decides to go up there, but I don't think he will, because I'm pretty sure he knows that someone will be sitting down there. Dark God Sim going for yet another scout run up there. Can't really make it up there, but he's trying to make use of the 50-meter rule. And the 50-meter rule is that whenever you get close enough within 50 meters, no amount of camo, buildings, or iron, steel, stuff like that, all that, it won't hide you. You will be spotted. And that was what Dark God Sim was trying to do right there. We have Jared trying to spot over the small hill on the east side, spotting nothing, but they could be moving over there, so going back and forward. He's seeing no shells flying, so either the enemy isn't interested in hitting him. Oh, there we have Killeroid. He is also using the 50-meter rule right there. As we saw, he didn't spot anyone with his view range, but he got close enough to Jared, and artillery is trying to get him there. Probably Eclipse or Deluxe, which is, both of them are in artilleries for this round. Eclipse sitting in his Sturmpanzer II and Deluxe in his Bison. And they've chosen to go for 2 smaller artilleries instead of 1 big one. Not that the grill is that big, but it is 4 tier points compared to 2 and 3. And and Synergy has decided to go with the AMX 5100, which is a lot more damage per clip and a lot more HP, but slower, of course. And as we can see right now, he is actually acting as defense. So they'll keep that HP safe for later. And then we have No Nick, No Skill back there, all the way in the bush. A pretty obvious bush. Oh, and Illusion takes a hit from an artillery shell there.
My computer's still out, so unfortunately I've got to lean over and commentate over the shoulder of my partner here. Now, one thing I have noticed, there's someone missing.
Someone missing?
Someone missing. We actually have a 6 versus 7 situation going on here.
God.
But what do you think of the lineup choices from the two teams? The actual choice of taking the... Well, they are quite different, actually, aren't they?
Yeah.
You have got quite a big difference. We have the AMX 90s instead of... Well, actually, they're completely different. They're absolutely completely
very different. We have gun depression versus French power.
Yeah, traditional versus kind of the new age strategy.
Yeah.
I would say traditional, if you guys don't know, the French autoloaders were very, very common and very important during the early the early times of the esports. But then as the new tanks came out and the Americans came along, the T69, which is a bit slower, but just an all-round general badass tank.
Yeah.
It came along and became very popular. So it's got a better, it can look down better, it can look up better, it reloads faster, but it has a less clip, it has less alpha damage as such, less burst damage. So there is a risk there. if you have the AMXs together, you could burst down enemies much quicker.
Yeah.
And they can tag team a lot better. So, I don't know, it's always that argument I see, especially on mines, where you see often teams taking 2 T69s and 2 AMX90s. Whenever we saw teams taking 3 T69s or 3 AMX90s, they did nowhere near as well.
No.
So
The combination of the two is really perfect.
that's it.
Yeah, because with the AMX 1390s, you really have to hit with your shells. With the T69, you can miss 1 or 2 because the clip reloads that much faster. It's like 20 to 25 seconds. And we're seeing here Roxkiss Drag is going in with Jared for a push on the artillery, and Deluxe is in serious danger. He can't one-shot this.
No,
and
he's
he
out
doesn't
of
even get
there.
a shot. No. And Eclipse is in an even slower tank, which is even worse. So it looks pretty dire right now for Rush, actually, but they can pull it off, and we've seen that plenty of time with teams having the upper hand, and then Rush just being calm, collected, doing just damage on every single shell they fire. So this is really, this shouldn't be any indication of them. And we saw there Eclipse, he has escaped, and he is far away enough to be able to provide some support fire. And Roxkiss Drag is he's getting pummeled by the SA, and Executor was also there, so that's why he went down so fast. And Dark Sim goes down as well in his T50-2. Jared is now all alone, and alone, and just as I said that, the Rush is back. We just, without artillery, no problem. We got this.
Without Deluxe, without their team captain. In fact, actually, I find this myself. When you get taken out as the captain, you can focus better.
Yeah,
it's kind of like dying when you're the
guys,
captain.
Okay, guys, let's pull this together. I just died. I got this.
Lebar just takes some damage, and again, I say his name totally. He's going to kill me after this, I swear. And Illusion has taken a lot of damage, and Hexecutor comes up trying to kill. Illusion, yes, easily takes him down with no nick, no skill, be the last guy left in his grill. Unfortunately, regardless of his shooting ability, he's going to go down, and that is game 1 finish, and Rush is up 1. If they take the next game, then they are through. That seems very, very solid on their part. I am curious of what's going wrong with Synergy, why they were a man down. I'm guessing they couldn't get him here today. That's really unfortunate. That doesn't exactly help their chances against Rush, who are here with their usual 7 in full force.
No.
So, from that last battle, let's talk about some of the stats, some of the performances.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, as you guys know, my computer was acting up. I couldn't actually load into the game, so my attention on the game wasn't 100%. So I'll let Highfly do this.
Yeah, as you can see, we have almost all of their tanks underperforming. We have Illusion, yes, with just 1 clip emptied, and the average damage wasn't that great because he can go all the way up to above 1,000 if he gets a few lucky damage rolls. Oh yeah. And as you can see, the MX 1390s also less than a full clip fired and hit 3 shots, 3 hits. 3 shots, 2 hits, and the MX 5100 hiding in the base, acting as protection with that huge HP pool. Again, 4 shots out of 6, not too good.
Not so good.
And on the Rush side, we just see 17 shots fired, and as
Power slide again.
Yeah, again, as we can see, even though he only has 4 shells in his drum, it doesn't matter because you reload so incredibly fast. And if you have teammates close to you, then it matters even less. So, and Inspire again hitting half his shells with the T69 because.
Well, again, I think we need to stress the differences between the T69 and the AMXs. Now, the T69 fires between the shells. Not all autoloaders are the same. You might not understand this from your own experience, but the AMX 90 fires 1 shot every 2.8 seconds. So it's bang, bang. But the T69 is every 2 seconds. So it's bang, bang, bang. So although he's only got 4 shells, he gets them 4 shells out much, much quicker. And that's really important because if the enemy dies before he gets all 6 of his shots off, well, who cares? You haven't got all your 6 of your shots off. So with autoloaders, if they don't get at least 1 clip before they die off, they were not worth it.
Yep.
And they
we
have to
saw that.
penetrate probably 5, 6, at the sorry, 4 very minimum to be okay as a choice. If you're finding your autoloaders are only getting half their clips off and less than half going through, maybe take a T32.
Yeah. But yeah, that was definitely the reason why they didn't win there.
What about the artillery? How important was the grill from No Nit No Skill or Deluxe?
Grill hit nothing. 5 shells, no hits.
Ooh, that really didn't help.
Yep. The fact that he has more alpha damage didn't really pay off at all.
No.
Because as we see here, at least Deluxe hit 2 of his shells, and with smaller tiers you also get a greater arc on your shells. So that's probably why they got a lot more shells fired, because they could see the enemy every single time they tried to take a shot.
It's not just that, but artillery in the lower tiers fire a lot faster, so you can take the risky shots. It's like, oh, he's mostly behind the rock. Nah, take the shot. If you're in the grill, it's a lot longer reload time. You might not take that shot, and it's harder. But yeah, the grill also has a worse angle to come in, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it's a choice. I'm guessing they're doing the grill for the fact they're down a player. They might as well use the points. But being down a player also means you have to have 1 point less. You only have 41 points instead of 42. So it's normally 7 versus 7 with 42 points. But if 6 versus 7, you're 41 points. You can't have that extra point. So that's really unfortunate for Synergy. And I can't say much of what's going to happen here on the Mines map number 2. I can't really, or battle number 2, because, well, it's too early to tell. You never know what Synergy's planned for. If they knew they were only going to be 6 players today, then they would have planned something, and they might have another trick up their sleeve. But we saw from the first battle, they tried to take out both Deluxe and Eclipse very early. They successfully got Deluxe, but failed to find Eclipse, and then Rush came back in.
Yeah, and without knowing, can we take a guess at who won the coin toss? I'm going to guess for Synergy, because the position was chosen by Rush south, and you have a much faster route, and you get acceleration going down the hill.
Well, if we can find that out, who won the coin toss, that'd be great. But we'll
just
see.
A qualified guess.
We'll see, but that's a very good guess. That's a very good guess to see who did that. I wish we had this information for you, but as I pointed out at the start, which you might not have seen, we are in a room in the back, not live on stage, because that's for the Russians. So we've got it nice and quiet back here, but unfortunately, we don't have access to some information. So things will come through a little bit slower. Rush won the coin toss.
Okay. Well,
You're
that's that's a very interesting position chosen by Synergy then. But again, they only had 6 players.
You can see the look on their faces here. They know they're in trouble. They know that they're not sure what they can do. I mean, down a player against the biggest team in Russia right now. Okay, we found out that 7th player was actually due, but unfortunately couldn't make it. So that's actually even worse for Synergy. They thought they were going to have 7, and that's really unfortunate for them. So we're going to see how well they can do here, but let's get into battle number 2, I think. Let's just see if they can make their money talk, because a lot of money is on the line here, guys. Absolute ton of it. We've got $50,000 for the winners, and we have... 100,000 prize pool total for everyone else. So there we go.
Yep.
Right, what do you think they could do different this time? Maybe to fight back with 6 guys, this sort of lineup. What do you think they've got?
Well, the only advantage they have right now on this map is now the second position, where they could now go to the hill with Dark Sim, but it seems like they're not going to take that advantage, and they're going for, it looks like a push right now, and then Illusion staying back to, it does look like a push, because going up northeast isn't normally something they would choose.
No, that's actually a strategy we've seen often fail. We saw many teams try this early on, because this was the first round map in the Golden League, and during that time a lot of teams tried this sort of position and was unable to do anything from it. They always seemed to just get pinned down and didn't work. Yeah,
and we just saw that Rush were given free access to the hill, not even a single T69 going up there, just to deny the hill, or just deal a little bit of damage while they went up there. And yeah, we can now see that Rush is on the hill with their T69. Killeroid is sitting on top of that little hill that we saw throughout the season, which proved to be a very useful position. As you can see here now, Killeroid is right there. He's sitting right there and spotting everything from up there. A very, very nice position to be in.
Do you know what? That was the first time when I saw pro players take that position. I'd never ever seen it in a pug at all. Never.
Yeah. It was the same game with the by GW. I remember that. That's really good.
And it's actually reasonably RT safe. I think the Bison can still hit there depending on the angle, but it's reasonably RT safe. And yeah, okay, we're actually back online.
Yep.
Woohoo!
Or you are. I've always been. I'm awesome.
Right, so we're here now, and I'm sorry guys, I've been a bit distracted. I've managed to fix my computer, and we're back in, and from the point of view of Rush for myself here. And Lebauer, Powerslide, Inspirer, all in their T69s here, covering this side. Very powerful combination. The T69s together in a group, incredibly powerful. As we said, have a bit of weakness. Normally we see the two T69s and two AMX-90s do better. However, with the numerous advantage, they have an extra tank. It might not matter, and it all depends on the users. The tools aren't necessarily very good, depending on the user. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're a great player, it doesn't matter what lineup you take. To a certain degree, you can still put it off. And so, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Rush pushes off with their T69s. And maybe it's because of the north position. Both teams just took extra T69s from the north.
Yeah. And we just saw Dark God Sim attempting to do a scout, but as we saw on the stream, he was only able to spot a Killeroid, and he then got spotted in
Overall managed to get a shot from Powerslide. Great advantage there, great awareness from Powerslide. As I said, a fantastic T69 driver. Took a shot from Povital, hit it, and then hit the reload. So only 20-second reload for that guy. And we have Drag moving through the north, though. We're seeing that they're actually trying to make an effort right now, but taking damage all the way here. You've got shots coming in from Inspire, Lebauer. They're not going to be able to do anything coming from this position with such a defensive position from Rush.
Yeah, and with two artilleries from Rush, it'll be even more suicidal.
Oh, no nick, no skill. Pays his bill as a grill. Knocks down Killeroid with one shot. He didn't know he was under attack, and boom, there goes their advantage. So now Synergy are doing fantastic, and they actually have a chance.
Yeah, and we see Hexecutor has moved all the way south, and he's now very close to Portal. And Dark God Sim is coming down there to do some spotting. And remember, he has that gun that can easily penetrate the AMX 1390s, and Jared is coming here as well, so I think Hexecutor knows he's in trouble and is trying to get away and get some support from the guys up on the hill.
He's trying to lure them out, and here we go. We have Hexecutor doing damage to Jared, and unfortunately Jared was not able to hit Hexecutor. Hexecutor hits several shots off, and Jared is in a lot of trouble. One more shell, and he's going down. Hexecutor managed to lure him out and take him down with ease. Povital comes round as well, and he's going for the ram kill, where Hexecutor goes back, and we get some more damage coming in, and Povital might be able to survive. Yes, he is. The cover from Rush was not able to take him down, but losing a whole T69 and most of another was very much worth it. I think Hexecutor did his job there. He didn't actually lose too much.
Yeah, at the same time. We had Illusion trying to take Powerslide and Lessa on at the same time, so that was quite a bit of a mismatch right there. But he was just trying to get them away from supporting the south, so they could take out that AMX 1390.
Yeah, so Povital has managed to survive and reload. Now, this is something you've really got to stress with autoloaders. Autoloaders are very good if they're on no HP, because they can just sit behind guys with HP and do the job. But Drag gets around the back, tries to take out the artillery, and although gets Deluxe, isn't able to finish off Eclipse. Again, Eclipse survives, hides back. Absolutely great situation awareness. Inspire comes back and then takes Drag down. So, great teamwork here from Rush.
Yeah, we see Illusion climbing up the hill to get a better position from up north. With only one RD, it's a lot more safe to start going out there and doing a bit of peeking, maybe, to scout for his teammates. Oh, well, Lessa is up here.
Lisauer is getting under attack by Illusion, yes, and he will go down, maybe.
Oh, he
the
bounced.
first shot bounces, and the second shot goes through. We're going to see Lisauer go down. Oh! Sugar! I didn't expect that to happen.
Yep.
I didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect them both to go down. I really did think that Illusion, yes, was able to take him down without...
dying.
Without dying, yeah. And he does go down, which is a big shock there. But Synergy aren't out of it. Although I would say Rush has brought themselves back in, they do still have the grill. And if the grill connects with the T69s, just 2 shots and they're going to take him out. But, Povital, they're almost no HP.
Yeah, really low HP. That's a splash almost, even though the Stonepanzer Spy doesn't have any splash. Whoa! Power Slice takes him out.
Yeah, so pings are going out here for Rush. They're trying to explore the eastern side. They forgot that Inspirer was last spotted in the southwest. Now, the southwest was where he was last time, and they're not going there. So Eclipse could actually be in trouble here. If he comes around the back and they do not notice, then he could go down. But they managed to find his support, and he goes down. And then, well, okay. It seems like it's game over here. So Inspirer, Power Slot. Oh, wait! He does find him. Dark God Zim does find him and take him down. So Povital was killed, but Dark God Zim comes around the back, takes out the last of the artillery, but it's not close. Inspiro and Power Slide still at good enough HP that it's not close.
No, he has to really play well and circle.
GG goes out from Dark God Zim. Synergy playing it like gentlemen, regardless of what situation is occurring. And we're going to move on to map number 2.
Yeah.
Now, it's hard to say because obviously they're a downer guy, but Synergy did get an advantage here at one point. Is there anything they could have done? Is there anything they made a mistake on that you just think that they could have maybe taken that? It seemed that Rush maybe were a bit too relaxed and Synergy were able to take advantage.
Yeah, again, just like the first game where it just turned. I don't see much apart from, well, maybe Illusion playing a little bit more safe up on the hill, even though he did just manage to not they didn't have the opportunity to support fire to the south.
No.
But he did take some damage trying to do that. So maybe just show your face.
For me, the moment where Synergy had lost it was the situation with the T69 up the top there, and
he bounced.
Bouncing a few shots while under attack, and that was Hexecutor, wasn't it? Hexecutor was up the top there, and he bounced a couple of shots, and then it took almost 2 of Synergy to take him down. And that was just too long, especially when you're down a guy, you lose 2 guys, taking out 1. You can't. That's it. That's GG right there.
Yeah, it is.
Regardless of how well they played for the rest of the battle, that moment there basically lost it for them.
Yeah.
And that would have happened with 7 guys.
Yeah, it would.
If that play had happened with 7 guys, then they still would have lost it regardless. So Synergy were outplayed in that map. So we're seeing now Rush with 1 map over Synergy. We have to go to the second map. We don't know what the 3 maps are left. If we can find that information out, that'd be great. But yeah, as we see now, Rush 1, Synergy 0. Yep. I really want to find out if there's a way for us to get the feed to you about the map picking. Who's getting, what maps are getting struck, which ones they wished left, because at the moment there it's hard for us to tell, but they have there. So what do you think the strategy is going to be now we know the map?
A scout on the west and then moving all to the right. It's what
Simple as that.
Yeah, that's
what about lineups?
Lineups, well, speedy tanks, lights, and T69s. I think we're not going to see the AMX 5100 again.
No?
I don't think so, because it played such a small role in just sitting back there. Didn't fire more shells than 4.
And the bigger the target you are, the more vulnerable you are. And hello, ladies.
Hello.
We have models here on the show. It wouldn't be a wargaming party without some ladies, I would say.
Nope.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you're going to get teasers of that throughout the show. You have to come in person to a wargaming show to get the ladies. So DreamHack is the European show for you next weekend. So make sure if you haven't got tickets already, go get them now. Always take your time to come to a wargaming booth when we're about, because, well, I can say we know how to throw parties.
Yeah, we do.
But anyway, so on this map, we're expecting to see a lot of light tanks. We've got to expect to see AMX 5100s, T50-2s, and even maybe a multiple T50 50-2 strategy. We have seen it occasionally show up on the pro scene, so we'll see like even 3 of them where they'll be able to fight AMX 90s, and if the AMX 90s are trying to fire on the move, they're really inaccurate.
Really.
So they can lose most of their damage trying to hit the T50-2s who are just darting around. Artillery then helps them, and then they're able to shoot just constantly. Whether they use the autocannon or the Ziz, they are able to put out a lot of damage, especially to AMX 90s.
Yeah,
AMX 90s are so lightly armored.
Yeah, and that's why I think we're going to see some T69s, because they have the front armor, which just bounced. Highly likely a 300mm penetration shell.
Yes. Not only that, the 50-2 have no chance of penetrating the front, really, of the T69. So they have to go around the back, and the T69 is pretty maneuverable. Although the T50-2 is probably the most maneuverable tank in the game, the T69 is good enough to make sure it's always facing the biggest threat. Now, that would mean that the rushing strategies of the lighter tanks, the really light tanks, probably couldn't be used. But the T69 is more vulnerable to artillery. It's just not as fast.
Yeah, it's if they pick this, then they are very vulnerable to artillery shells, because that's a GW Panther sitting in the lineup right now.
What is this? Why don't you explain it? I don't think the audience can see your screen.
No, it's the it's just where the they pick tanks. We can now see that the lineup has changed. There's a T1 and there's a GW Panther in there in the lineup already. Instead of the smaller grill. And
okay, so they've got a T50-2, a GW Panther, an AMX 1390 ×2, and a T69 ×2. Yeah. So we have 2 T69s, very good choice, 2 AMX 90s, very good choice. And I actually favour the T69s engaging at closer range, with the AMX 90s supporting from the rear, shooting over their heads and doing the damage that way. It avoids them having to move so much. However, that leaves them vulnerable to artillery, especially because they're not as manoeuvrable as the AMX 90s. So I always find it questionable how useful the MX-90s are. I mean, the speed is an advantage, but the accuracy just always hurts me to see them on open maps, because I'm just thinking they've got to stop to shoot.
Yeah, I recently played the AMX 1390, and I was surprised how inaccurate they are right now. So they really have to stop, focus, and then fire.
And if they're doing that, a GW Panther shell will ruin your day. Remember, if you don't know this, the high explosive shell, which artilleries often fire, will do a lot more damage to lightly armored targets. So an AMX 1390, which basically has no armor, if it gets hit even with the blast radius of an artillery shell, will be knocked out. It will be either just completely destroyed, it will lose some crew, damage some modules, it will be basically crippled. So they've got to be really careful. The T69, if it's hit on the front, might not get a penetration and therefore survive a lot better. But if it does go through, the same problem. It's a very small tank, so basically all the modules get damaged and all the crew get hurt, and that really affects the performance of the tank. So even if you're not destroyed, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, because in an autoloader that isn't very accurate, what do you fix? Engine, ammo rack, or gun? It's a really big dilemma if you get hit by an artillery shell, and it's left with.
Your engine is your survivability.
Yeah.
Without your engine, you're going to die with the next shot anyway.
Yeah.
But if you don't have your ammo rack prepared, well, once you fire a clip off, you're out of the game.
Yeah. How far will you wait to use that gold repair kit? Because it will fix everything, but if you get hit by RD1s, ammo rack, fair enough, fix it. But if you then get hit in the gun or the engine, then you're just left for dead.
Yeah, I think though at this level of play, especially with using big artillery, the Tier 6 artillery, the GW Panther, you get hit once, that's basically your luck.
Yeah.
You need to repair, immediately get out, because if you wait, something else hits you, you're going to go down. Yeah?
Yeah.
Why not? So this is the fan vote on who is going to win. And I have to agree. I'm sorry. With the performance we see and the man down, we have Synergy in a lot of trouble already. This vote came in just around the same time as the first map was being played.
Yeah.
Rush is already up a map, seeing them at the 75%-ish.
Yeah.
I think it's about right. I think it's fair to say Synergy still have a chance, but it's very fair to say that that's a good judgment call from the crowd. crowd.
Yeah.
So good job, crowd. Either way, we're really looking forward to the next match because it is totally up for grabs. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're still down a player. There's no substitutes allowed. However, we do see them pick the Lorraine Tier 7.
Yeah, and we've seen the T69 being switched with the American lighter version, the T71.
Now,
Epic.
that is interesting. I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan of the T71. I'm not. I must admit, it's not my favourite tank.
What do you mean? Wargaming has been promoting it like crazy. You should love it.
I know it's good. I know it's good, but in my heart of hearts, I see the T71 and think it's just not a T69.
I know. It's tier lower and more awesome.
I know, but here we are. We have people cheering for their team now, and I'm assuming this is a Rush fan, actually. I'm thinking with that much enthusiasm, seeing their favourite players in person. I mean, I was excited. I met Eclipse just before the show. Well, we met Eclipse and had some photos taken with him. He's a really nice guy. Much taller than I thought, actually.
Yeah, much taller.
I thought he was a lot shorter than that. He's a really, really big guy. Really friendly. And his English is very good, actually. I was really surprised. Really nice. So by all means, you guys, you've got to realise that the events themselves much, much better than watching online. So if you ever get a chance to come in person, by all means, come down. Whether you have to fly to another country like Kiev right now in Ukraine, or go to DreamHack in Sweden, you should definitely make the effort. It's so much better. It's just so much more excitement, and you get to meet your favourite players in person and see their reaction every time they die.
Yeah.
Or, in Eclipse's case, got him! Hitting a T-50-2 at max speed in artillery every time. Yeah!
Nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. Got it. But let's look at the lineups. Okay, so we are seeing a Lorraine 155-51.
Yeah.
155 instead of a GW Panther, and going for, they were going for the T-71s there. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
two T-50-2. So let's go into game. We can talk about what's going on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're seeing, if we go into the view now, we can see the AMX 1390s on Synergy, but we see the favour of the T-71s for Rush. And there is what I'm talking about, 2 T-50-2s taking for Synergy. Very, very much what I expected to see. Lots of fast tanks. But this is something I don't know if I can agree with. AMX 90s. Oh, pure AMX 90s. That's just... I don't know. It's just this thing for me. T-71, I don't know. It's just not a T-69. But we'll see. We're seeing the battle commence now. And we're seeing that the... team moving out, Rush moving out into the field, into the middle, guarding the artillery at the back though with the AMX 1390. So it is basically what I thought would happen, the T-71 stroke T-69s moving forward to be on the front, and then we have the T-50-2s with them. Supporting would be the AMX 90s and the...
Ooh, shot in the air.
That's Eclipse! I can all imagine him now on stage celebrating that fantastic shot.
Nailed it.
Wow, I can't imagine the feeling for Povital. Eclipse, god damn that player, he's so good. Anyway, what do you think they can do now? Losing one of their T-50-2s already.
Yeah, that's really big loss. And we see Dark God Sim going down the side. Not going over the tracks. Wise choice, because that's the most obvious place to go over. But he is peeking over at the... Well, since the map has been redesigned, you're now able to go over these parts. Some people forget, and even in random battles, you can be very effective as a scout going in there. And he just took a big peek and
didn't see anything. No, and that's because we have Rush doing something utterly crazy. They pushed completely onto the far side. They're all on the west, bumped right across the end, all in the first second, with Dulux being the only guy moving out. So this is going to be a standoff. With Povital down, I don't think Synergy are going to have the courage to move from their location. So they're going to be pushing out, probing, trying to find a weakness or an opening or just spotting somebody. But they're going to be shaken. I have to say, Rush need to make the move now. Yeah. They're not going to find Synergy coming out from their hiding place, from their defensive positions. It's just not going to happen.
And Synergy is just... They have no idea of what's happening. And with good reason. They lost one of their eyes.
Yeah.
And so now all they can do is sit here and be patient.
Be patient indeed, but we know that Rush are the most patient team in the world, and they will sit down until they get an advantage. And, well, I say that they don't need it right now. They already have the advantage, so they could easily push out, but we do have the pings. They've left Dulux down here to guard the south side to see if anything happens, and they're going to group up now for a big attack. We have Eclipse, Kilroyd, Executor, Inspirer, Power Slide, Libar all the way over on this side. Yes, I know I said his name wrong again.
Yeah, it's okay, listen.
It's okay, I'll just keep up the trend from the season. But he goes over the middle, taking some peaks across onto the other side, and he is now super important.
Yep.
He is all about Rush. If he goes down without spotting anything, we're going to see both teams losing their confidence to attack. And they're both going to guard. But no one's spotted
yet.
We have both teams in a standstill here, both of them not taking any risks. With so much money on the line, I don't expect Rush to take any chances. None at all. I don't expect them to think, well, we've got one guy up, let's just YOLO and go forward. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to take it nice and steady all the way.
Well, Lassar has been spotted in the middle. And
also Drag has been spotted in reverse. So there is now contact, and the artillery shell goes out. No Nick, no skill, trying for Lassar, but missing. And he does get away unscathed.
Yep.
Now, Eclipse probably took a counter-strike. I didn't see it, but did he connect to anything?
No. He was pretty fast on the move. The Lorraine is one of the fastest artilleries. So he would have a pretty hard time hitting someone who knows that he'll be looking for him.
Yes, indeed. We do have the AMX-90s, though, in a defensive position. If they light anybody up, or should I say Lassar lights anybody up, it will be a barrage, an utter massive barrage of shells from autoloaders, and they would drop immediately. However, that's not going to happen. I don't see Synergy taking any risks whatsoever here. Just none at all. It's not going to happen. And that means Rush need to get off the defensive. They have to push forward if they don't want this to end up in a draw. It's not 8 points difference. There is not 8 points difference yet. Pivotal's only worth 5 tier points.
Yeah.
And that's what we mean by points, if you didn't know. So 5 points advantage is not enough to secure the win. This would be a draw if a battle occurred now. Although they are down a point, so that is 6 point difference.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is counted in the rules, actually.
Still not enough, so either tank dying on their team would mean 8 points, no matter if they had an extra man. But yeah, as we see, no Nick, no skill is aiming up north, so they're expecting anything right now. And Dark God Sim is spotting the south railway, so they have absolutely no idea what's going on, and so does Rush.
Indeed. Well, we've got Eclipse sat in the middle, aiming... Where is he aiming now? Let's look into him now. And he is aiming north as well. He's thinking that that's where the main battle is going to occur. We have Eclipse aiming north. We have No Nick, No Skill aiming north. So both teams, I think, have decided that north is where the battle will commence. Yeah. However, we do see Synergy moving into the south. So we might see yet another exchange as the scouts from... Rush move to the fore. So we see Deluxe moving right the way, very, very far round the north. In fact, he's going all the way over the train to have a peek and realizes there's nothing there.
Nope. Where the devil are they?
They've moved again. So Rush go over the top thinking, hey, we've got to spot them. We're going to sacrifice Deluxe to get all the information we need. But Synergy say, no, we're going to move south instead. We've moved home. That's the advantage of having a mobile home.
Yep. And Dark God Sim is just rolling back and forth. They're expecting them to come south. But if they were still up north, they would see that the Rush is expecting them up north. So
yep, they've now exchanged sides.
Completely.
It's just topsy-turvy. I'm going to use that English expression. It's topsy-turvy. Okay. They've gone around. We've got Rush going south at first, then moving north, and Synergy doing the absolute reverse, and neither team know where the other one is. They are literally doing this in, and I'm going to say it as a pun, synergy with each other.
Yeah. Nailed the pun.
Oh dear, that was so bad.
Well, Dark God Sim is now sitting on top of the railway instead of just going,
well, we have something happening. Rush are living up to their namesake, and they've decided that 3 minutes is the time that they can come forward and decide when this engagement will happen. They're going to take control of this battle and decide now is the time for battle. LaSalle is going forward, almost. Kilroyd, Linspira, Power Slide, and Executor all together.
Oh! Who takes out no skill? No Nick, no skill. That's Eclipse.
Eclipse again. Soon as he spots someone, he knows roughly where you're going to be, and that is the end of him. However, Inspire takes a few shots to the side as he pokes over the top as well. And I have to say that Synergy in a lot of trouble now with no Nick, no skill out of the picture. We now have Eclipse hitting Jared and able to do a lot of damage to him. As we said earlier, with high explosive shells, he's probably crippled. Illusion, yes, moves forward right into the open and trying to get some damage on him. He's going to be focused down easily by Inspire Power Slide. They're going to try and take down Inspire, but he can easily back down behind the hill. They have the advantage of not only the terrain, but artillery as well. I think Synergy have given up at this point. Yes, they are. Godzim is flying through the air, giving himself up. Good manners from him, saying, there's no point me hiding, and try and take someone out with me. Doing a lot of damage to Kiroi, but that is the end of that. That's the end of that. Eclipse, again, 2 shots, 2 kills. First one taken out T50-2 right at the start. On the move. I get full speed. I can't do that. I challenge anyone in the audience to say that you could do that regularly and intentionally. Every battle on that map, he just goes click, dead.
Yep.
Every time. Earl Steel last year did the same. Every time. Click, dead. Whatever. Whatever.
I only take 100% shots.
I only take the shot when I know it's going to hit. But let's see how much damage he did. 6 shots, 3 shells, hitting 1,503 damage. He basically killed an AMX-90 on his own. Well, he did. He killed one and a bit.
Yeah,
on his
T69 is 1,350 HP. So
yeah, we have Inspirer who fired 5 of his shells. In fact, let's forget about Rush. They did everything they needed to do. Yep. Let's instead look at Synergy. 2 shells from Illusion, only 1 going through. 4 from Drag, none going through. Jared finding 4 and 4 going through. Next game.
Yeah, nothing to say about that. They both misread each other. Well. They had the same idea, just reversed. So
yeah, they did.
That's why it came down to the 3-minute mark.
And it came down to the artillery. Although they had the tier point advantage, they had the Lorraine over the GW.
Yeah.
But Eclipse seemed to be able to outperform No Nick, No Skill. No Nick, No Skill is a great artillery player. Don't get us wrong. He's fantastic. But it just seems like Eclipse has a sixth sense. He just knows where things will be. He didn't delay any time. No Nick, No Skill was seen for a second. Click, dead.
Yep.
GG.
Yeah.
I think before Sixth Sense would have even triggered for no skill. I think the shell was already in the air before Sixth Sense came up.
Eclipse sees you.
Yeah. Well, if you didn't know, Sixth Sense actually has a small delay. You don't get it immediately, so it gives the opposition a little chance, a little window to hit you before you can move. And I think that's exactly what happened to No Nick, No Skill. I think he was like, okay, oh shit, I've been spotted. Okay. Oh god. Oh.
Dead.
Game over.
Dead.
It's game over, man. It's game over.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But yeah, they could have done a lot different if they had only sent. Both T50s went through the middle to scout in the beginning, and one of them died. So if it had just been one figuring out who, then they had 2, north and south, on the railway. Then they would have known what was going on, and sometimes going into the middle might seem like a good idea just to get the general idea where the enemy are, but the enemy is doing the exact same thing, and they did the exact same thing, but with support.
Yeah,
that's that was the error there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was too many errors at the start. Not many damage was exchanged. It was mostly just blind firing and just shooting on the move. As we said, with the autoloaders, it's not such a good idea. So they just fired a few shots off, didn't really connect anything, and then Eclipse. Boom. Eclipse happened.
Yeah.
I think it's the best way to describe it. Eclipse happened. They lost the T50-2. Synergy then went into the defensive, and rightly so. It was a good choice to make. But having the extra T1, Dulux was able to push forward and be a bit more risky for a rush. They could find some information out, that sort of stuff, and that's why every single tier point is useful, very needed. And this is why many people who are new to this 742 format will say, why T1s? Why T1s? Why would you have T1s?
Yeah.
Well, for exactly that reason. If you didn't see the last of the European finals, you saw that the T1 for Magus and Dragonborns won the game.
Yeah.
If he had been killed at the end or wasn't in the team, that he was a different tank or whatever, they could have actually lost.
Yeah,
but because he was there, they won, and they're off to DreamHack. Now, here we just saw the same sort of situation occur, how important they are at being scouts. Dulux moves forwards, sits behind the ridge, and if he dies, you lost 1 point, but you've gained valuable information. You see where the enemies are, you see if they're there or not, or if you don't see anything, you don't die, you know where they are still, because they're not where you are, and they are where you're not. Simple.
Exactly. Nailed it.
Done it. So that's it. So we are now seeing Synergy in a lot of trouble. They're not in too much trouble. It's double elimination. So if they lose this next battle, they are out into the losers bracket. They're out of the winners bracket into the losers.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. They will still be in the tournament. We'll see them again. So that's not. We'll see them. It's not the end.
Yeah,
it's
tomorrow.
not the end of
If
everything.
they lose, we will see them tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not out, and they're still a very strong team. And even with 6 guys, and maybe the 7th might turn up tomorrow.
Maybe.
You never know. They might be in full strength tomorrow, and they can always get back to the finals and face whoever's there, whether it be Rush again or somebody else in the finals, regardless if they lose and go to the losers bracket. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we're going to start the maybe final battle of this set, or just the second battle of the second map. So let's go into it now and see what they chose. We are seeing an AMX 1390x3 Lorraine T50-2s, and on the other side AMX 1390s, T71, GW Panther, and T50-2 with the
And a
T1 Deluxe.
Yes.
So we are seeing the exact same layout for both teams, exact same choices. Well, are we going to see the same strategy? What do you think?
I don't think that Synergy will do the same thing, going through the middle, but we'll see.
So let's see the
I'm
full
hoping-
map. Let's see what they're
hoping
doing
not.
on both sides. If we see the full screen map, we can see where they're going.
Yep.
No, we can't see the
Oh,
full
well,
screen
we
map.
can see
Okay.
it. We can see it on the.
We can see it. You can see it at the
yeah.
bottom right. We're not allowed to bring it up, unfortunately. Okay, so we're seeing them move up on the right-hand side for Rush. They're spreading out, pushing really aggressively down the railroad tracks, and LaSalle moving into the middle, spotting Povital. Now, will we see Eclipse hit Povital for the second time? But no, the shot goes just behind him. Eclipse missed. I think that's the bulletin for tomorrow's newspaper. Eclipse missed the shot.
Yeah.
So Deluxe is at the back here to make sure that no flanking maneuver can happen, and we are seeing reloading going on in the middle from Kilroyd, who obviously took a few shots trying to get some damage out but was unsuccessful. We are now seeing them both go into defensive positions, Rush settling on the east side and Synergy on the west.
Yeah, and we're seeing them actually just leave behind their artillery. It has been pinged like, hey, protect the RD, don't just leave it behind. I know the AMX or the Lorraine is fast, but it's not AMX fast, so he's actually quite far behind them. But luckily, no one from the Rush team decided to take a stroll across the middle, because then he would have been in trouble.
Yes, indeed. Now, that is something I actually see from a lot of teams, leaving their artillery behind and unfortunately losing it. Like what I like to call like the swap or the ring of roses, in the sense of the teams are going around the map and they're going all the way round from the right to the left, and both teams do it, but the artilleries are not fast enough to keep up with the team, and in doing that they get killed, and so both teams lose their artillery, and that's something that I don't think Synergy can afford to do. If Synergy lose No Nick No Skill, this is going to be a massive uphill battle for them, and they're fighting for survival in the winners bracket right here. So I don't expect to see Synergy give up No Nick No Skill without some serious need.
Yeah. No.
And here we have an engagement coming in. We have Illusion, yes, and Drang and Povital moving in on Deluxe. Deluxe is going to be spotted any second. Yes, he is spotted, and they will take him down. However, if they choose to take out the T1, that is a shell from an autoloader, and they might choose instead to go past, but no, they do take him down, and now they're moving forward. They're completely spotted, and Rush, whoa, jeez, Power is taken down with a single shot from No Nick No Skill. That is the power of taking a tier 7 artillery, and you see Power Slide absolutely destroyed, and that is a setback for Rush. That's one of their best. Well, they're all their best players. I can't say one of their best. He's a fantastic player, and losing him so early in the battle could be their demise. So Synergy now have them on the ropes, pushing them back, and wow, I'm now really excited for Synergy, able to push Rush into this situation. Up on the north there, what's going on?
Oh, it's LaSalle, and he's fighting against the 260 T50-2s, and he's running away, and Portal is reloading right now.
Yes,
and
this
getting
is
hit from the middle.
It's a dangerous situation for him. He has to get back, but Dark Zim takes a shot in, well, I think the face there from Eclipse, and doing a lot of damage. Lasauer moving away from Povital, but this is the sort of shots going on. If these were autoloaders, they would be reloading by now. Look at the inaccuracy. Trying to move at this sort of speed, but Povital's actually going to go down. What combat here? And Lasauer takes him down on a one-on-one. I would say one-on-one, but it wasn't. Lasauer was actually outnumbered heavily and was able to do that and walk away alive. Wow, what a move there from Rush. I thought they were on the ropes there, but oh, wow, No Nick, No Skill is on fire today. Abram doing a lot of damage here and taking them down. So only losing Povital. Synergy in such a good situation, they're actually going to win this game. So there we go. There goes the theory that you cannot win 6 versus 7 in this mode. If you make a mistake, or if you get cocky, and there's a good chance that Rush were getting a bit relaxed, they're getting a bit horizontal with how chill they were. I got a feeling that they're now in a lot of trouble. However, I have also seen Rush come back from worse situations like this. So keep your eyes peeled on Inspirer and Hexecutor. They still have Eclipse, so anything can still happen. I wouldn't rule any team out.
Yeah, and they're just spotting down the Northern Railway down there, and not taking any chances. It would be stupid with such a big advantage, and still 2.5 minutes to go until the 3-minute mark, where things usually happens.
And there's the reload signal for Inspirer for the next 60 seconds, or is it 40 or 60? 40 seconds. 40 seconds, Inspirer is now in trouble. If someone pushes forward now from Synergy, they could actually take advantage of the situation, but they don't know this. And we have Synergy not doing as well as I first thought. I've seen their health, and they're actually spread the damage out quite a bit, so they've got to be careful. We have all the tanks here on Rush side being at full health. Or no, Hexecutor actually at about half. So that's a lot of HP on Rush still, so I'm not entirely sure what they can do. They have to play defensively. What can Synergy do to break this?
Well, since they're all kind of half HP, all of them. Illusion's half HP. Rock's Kiss Drag has lost around 300, and Jared is below half health. So if they were doing anything, they should do a combined attack when they know where the guys are, so they don't get any easy shots on Synergy moving in. And they only do have 2 AMX 1390s left, so shouldn't be too hard if they just get a surprise attack on them.
Indeed, but we don't have any more scouts on Rush's side, so we've got a feeling that they're much more blind, and it's got to be Synergy making the moves. Although Inspire is looking out here, they are looking to make something happen, regardless of what's going on, but they're using their full HP AMX-90 to do the scouting, and they're trying to go in, and they're actually really close. They don't know how close they are. However, Dark God Zim does spot Inspire, but Inspire does not spot Dark God Zim, so Inspire is now in a lot of trouble. He doesn't know he is. Oh, actually, Sixth Sense would tell him that he's in a lot of trouble, and he's trying to hide behind destructible terrain, but I'm not entirely sure that is actually going to help him, as No Nick, No Skills damage and explosion will rip him apart even there.
Yeah.
Dark God Zim is the key here for Synergy to take this match, though. If he can come forward and find where the last of Rush is, or even stumble upon the location of Eclipse, that actually could be game. They could actually take this and come back.
Yeah, and here we have Executor is going in through the middle and taking a quick little stroll,
but
on
doesn't
the hill
spot
there.
them.
Doesn't spot anything. This is bad. They now know, kind of know where both of the MX 1390s are roaming, at least.
So there is enough difference now that if Synergy just sits back and relax, they will win the game. They will win the game from their points difference, so it's all up to Rush, and that's why Inspire is actually on edge. You see him poking forward and trying to make something happen, because Rush know that if they sit back, and Drag has been spotted at point blank range. Inspire and Drag now exchanging fire, but I would say Inspire is in the worst position here. However, Hexecutor does get over the top and takes him down first. I would be surprised if Inspire gets away from this, though. 32 HP goes off him. That's Dark God Zim, but there we go. No Nick, No Skill does eventually take him down, and we've lost one of our Okay, and that's, well, Rush are now in a lot of trouble. They still haven't got enough points next, but Executor is actually in a lot of trouble. He might be able to take out Illusion, yes. If he takes out Illusion, yes, that might be enough. But Executor, oh, Jared takes the shot, though, from Eclipse. Wasn't a good enough connection to take him down. Executor must lure them out into the open, but Eclipse is reloading for a long time, and he goes down. This is bad for Rush, but great for Synergy. And we're going to see a game number 3 here. Wow, I didn't expect Synergy to pull a single game back, but, well, it shows what I know.
Yep, 6 versus 7. Who cares?
6 versus 7. Synergy pull it back and take a game against Rush. Now, no matter how much you try to place a bet on that, that would not have been a safe bet in the bookies.
Nope.
You wouldn't put that down at all. But I still say it wouldn't be over. Jared is at very low HP. Eclipse could easily one-shot either of them with a direct hit. So if he's incredibly lucky, they could still do this. But 60 seconds, Synergy could literally sit back and do nothing and win the match.
Yep.
But they're not. They're actually looking for him.
Yeah. Well, he's right there. He's actually right there. If he just peeked across the small hill, he would see him. Oh, now he wouldn't. He's in a bush. So.
Okay, so they're just trying to find him, and because Eclipse is so well hidden, they're not actually able to find him. And he is now. You can see on the minimap where he is and where they're trying to find him. They're really close, but they're not going to kill Eclipse. He's actually wanting to survive. I kind of think this is BM. You know, this is a bit bad manners because you could finish the game by killing yourself, but no, there's too much money on the line. Eclipse decides that he wants to fight until the last. If he gets 2 lucky shots, he might be able to do it, but the timer goes out, and Synergy get the map. So that's 1-0.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great.
Wow. Synergy got a game. Honestly, I have to say, didn't expect that. So let's look at the stats. Let's see how they did this. Illusion, yes, with 9 shots, 5 connecting. We have Jared, 7 and 5. Again, no nick, no skill, connecting only 1 direct shot, but doing 1,000 damage. So that was good from him. Dark God Zim firing 39 shots. You can't really compare them. And 9 from Rox Kicks Drag. So if we go on the other side, Executor gets 11 shots off, did really well, and we have the T71s also getting 10 shots off, but not really connecting with many. So looking at the stats, it looks like, and I'm going to be killed for saying this, Eclipse let them down, only doing 400 damage. Now that means he didn't connect with enough shots, whereas the artillery on the other team, no nick, no skill, did actually. They managed to do it, you know. No nick, no skill connected a lot better. 1,000 damage compared to 400. Everyone else was roughly the same. So that means that on one battle, they had just enough HP to overpower Rush, and that's the end of that.
Yep, it was.
Do you expect to see that again? What's your thoughts?
I'm expecting Rush to do something different this time.
Different lineup?
Not so much lineup. Well, maybe since the T71 did just get 1 shot.
Indeed.
Yeah.
You can see the crowd actually taking them comfy chairs out front. Those are big white leather sofas. You can sit there, have some drinks and pizza. They have actually a really good bar here in the Kiev studio, the Cyber Arena. And yes, you can see there still on the left in the black jerseys is Synergy, and on the right you have Rush. Now the tension on that stage must be getting a bit bigger now that Rush have actually dropped a game. I think they, at this point in time, we're going into it thinking, we're invincible, we're going to Synergy 6-man versus us. Oops, they just dropped a game against a 6-man team. I think they're a bit red in the face, and that's not good. I mean, we're looking at Rush. They're actually seeing a lot of teams get signed around them. They're arguably the best team in the world, and they're still not signed. So this tournament is them saying, hey, look at world, look at us. Look at us. We're doing so well. And they just dropped the game. 7 versus 6. There they are now thinking hard. Oh, what just happened? Synergy feeling a bit better. Feeling
looking
a lot better.
A lot better, yeah.
I think even if they lose this and go down to the losers brackets, they feel a lot more confident. They took a game from Rush, down a guy. If they get all 7 tomorrow, well, who's going to stop them, eh? Yep. So I really, really hope for them, their case, that they, regardless of what happens here, now they get their 7th player back. But they can do it with 6. So, who needs 7
they just
players?
Beat Rush with 6. So who can't they beat with?
Who needs 7 players, eh? So yeah, anyway, if you don't know the format of today, what happens is before any battle starts, each set. So, for example, the next game happening at 3 o'clock Central European time will be TM versus Mind, and in that game, at the start, there'll be a coin toss. Whoever wins the coin toss starts taking maps out of the 9-map pool that we have, the standard map pool that we are using for the Golden League.
Yeah, and then the opposing team takes out a map, and until we have 3.
Until we have 3 left.
Yep.
And then the person who lost the team who lost the coin toss, then selects the position. They start from either north, south, or east, west.
Yep.
And they then will play the maps in order. In order for the first team. Obviously, if Rush picked one, they'll pick the map in order. They'll go through and first to 2 on each map, and then best out of 3 for the map. So we have Rush versus Synergy here right now. We have Hexecutor, Inspirer, Killeroid, Powerslide, Eclipse, Lissar. I'm going to mumble that name now. And Ulux versus Synergy.
Yes, and
Their names.
yeah, on Synergy we have Jared, Rox, Kiss Drag, Illusion Yes, No Nick No Skill, Dark God Sim, and Povertal.
We didn't see the lineup change though. We're seeing that Rush decided that it was their mess up, not the strategy that messed up. So they're going to stay on the same lineup. We're not seeing any changes from the team. So let's find out what happens here.
Yeah. And
Okay.
well, Synergy is going to the left, the west, with only one of their T50-2s going into the middle, which I like. I like it a lot more than Sinning 2. And Lesau just
Right
met him. And will he... Oh, he's doing... we tracked him. He tracked him.
Povertal is left in the open with no track. Uses the repair kit. It's down to 61 HP. And he goes down easily to Power Slide. Power Slide continues firing. Trying to hit Drag. Does do, but it's out of ammo. Having to get out of there now. It's been spotted for far too long. Lebauer... I can't say. Lissau still there in the open, taking almost no damage. And wow, they take out Povertal and Drag. They're both out of there. And this is a hell of a start from Rush. They're living up to their namesake, taking the town to Synergy, and Synergy's Dark God Zim also goes down. Inspire takes a little bit of damage, but that is their sight gone. I expect Rush now to back off for a second to reload, and then they'll be back into the action. But Power Slide's taking far too much damage, trying to take out Jared. Killeroid and Jared going head to head here on the far side, and
It's already GG.
it's already GG.
You can hear the crowd.
You can
out
hear
there
the
from
crowd
door.
going absolutely wild, and yeah, wow, absolutely fantastic.
That was nuts.
I wonder if we can get some crowd sound in for you so you can actually hear how mad it's going out there. But GG, Synergy took a game from Rush, and Rush went, that's it!
That's it.
You are out of here! And there we have Synergy moving down to the losers bracket as Rush shows us why they are considered the best team in the Russian cluster.
Yes.
Arguably